Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege to welcome our 2023 Augusta National Women's Amateur Champion, Rose Zhang. Rose, congratulations on a very impressive victory. Earlier this week, you set records at Champions Retreat, and then today, Augusta National, you battled some adversity, including a weather delay and a two-hole playoff. With that, can you walk us through some of the emotions that you were feeling when you finally sealed the victory?
It's been incredible. I feel like it still hasn't sunk in yet. When I was on 10 green, I was just so focused on the putt. I really wanted this win, and I really wanted to stay in the moment so I can execute what I needed to get it done. But when Jenny made a minor mistake, I really felt like I wanted to capitalize on it. And after that little putt went in, it was just a sense of relief, I would say. The beginning of this week has been pretty crazy already with different press interviews, a lot of expectations on me, and I had a lot of expectations on myself. So to overcome everything, I'm just super grateful to be here.
Great. Well, congratulations on your victory. We'll open it up to questions.
Rose, can you talk about the expectations? And, you know, it's easy for us to say you're 5 strokes up and prohibitive favorite, all of that. But how much pressure did you feel coming into the day? And then how did that build as the round went on?
I feel like it's always difficult to have such a big lead, especially on such a prestigious stage. When things matter the most and you have a big lead, but the job's not done, it definitely puts a lot of things into perspective. And I tried to stay as composed as possible, but at the same time, I was a little tight the first couple holes, and I just felt like my swing wasn't comfortable, and I really just tried to stay in the moment. I figured out a little trigger point in my golf swing, and from then on, it was kind of smooth sailing, grinding from there.
Jeff.
Rose, on that, you mentioned in the interview that it was a grip change, which is not something people normally do in a round. Have you ever made a grip change mid-round like that? And I guess also just what else did you do during the break to try to find something?
I didn't do anything specific during the break. It was more of just getting off the golf course and having a more refreshed mind. So I feel like the break did me well, but at the same time, it didn't resolve a lot of things that I had on the golf course that was feeling uncomfortable. And I would say the thing about me is I'm very consistent in my performance, and partially because I am very quick in adjusting to things that work. I really kind of do a scan through in my mind on what I need to get done, on what I need to work on, from setup to ball position, grip, everything. And when things weren't feeling comfortable, it was kind of an aha moment where I was like, my grip, it's my right hand. So I made it a little weaker, and that allowed me to get my driver back on track. And that was kind of my devil in the bag when I was playing the first couple holes.
Doug.
Rose, when things aren't going well, when you're not comfortable with your swing and nothing seems to be going your way, what is that feeling like on the final day at Augusta? And secondly, what went into the decision to go for it on 15?
Yes. So I feel like when your swing's uncomfortable, it's always very hard to play on a very difficult golf course, and Augusta National is no exception, especially with it being such a big stage. Every mistake is sort of magnified. So I think that just being able to kind of get back on track, that was my biggest feat today. And I was able to, have the outcome that I wanted while staying in the moment. On 15, it was definitely a very difficult decision. I really did want to lay up but my dad and I were talking through the shot, and yesterday I went for it. I was hitting it well, and I found a little bit of a grip change, so I felt confident for the most part, and I really just hit it thin, and it didn't even come close to the green. So I really, from then on, I was kind of mad at myself for kind of opening that doorway so wide. But I think that that putt on 15 was necessary for my confidence. I blasted it by 6 feet, and if I didn't make that, that would have probably been the end of me in terms of everything that happened. So,
Ann.
Congratulations, Rose.
thank you.
You decided to
Me in terms of everything that happened. So,
Ann.
Congratulations, Rose.
thank you.
You decided to stay with your father as your caddy.
Yes.
And so can you talk about that dynamic, particularly under so much pressure in this stage?
Yes, he's caddied for me before at really big stages, for a lot of the majors that I've played in, for the U.S. Women's Amateur in 2020. So it's pretty normal to have him on the bag, and I felt like even though an Augusta caddy is super knowledgeable at Augusta National, they've probably caddied for X number of years, and their advice is very helpful. I still felt like with this big stage, I really wanted someone comfortable on my bag. It was a very difficult decision to kind of go through for me, but I really felt like it was the right decision to have him be a part of my journey, especially on the last day. And coming down the stretch, I wouldn't have wanted anyone else on the bag.
Beth.
Yes, congratulations, Rose. When did you have your light bulb moment about the grip?
Light bulb moment. Let me think. Probably it was on 13. It was on 13. And it was my second shot. It was my third shot going into that par 5. And it was one of the best wedge shots that I hit all week, especially with me being under pressure and with me barely carrying it over the creek. But I really that was a quick turnaround for me. And then on the next hole on the tee shot, it was kind of like, oh, well, let's see what this does with my little adjustment. And the drive that I hit was perfect. So from then on, I kind of realized that it was going to work out.
Scott.
Rose, you've qualified for the final round here all 4 times you've been here. In the last 3 years in particular, a lot of expectation has been on your shoulders. How have you dealt with that, and how much did you really want to win this thing this year and get this done?
Yes, I greatly wanted to win this, and it was just it was a huge desire, but at the same time, I didn't want myself to get too ahead in terms of my thinking and where my head was at. But I feel like coming back here for the 4th time is just such an honor. I think that I'm grateful to have these last couple years. Just getting the invite is a special moment, let alone playing in the final round all 4 times. And being able to play competitively at Augusta National is certainly different from any other venue that I've played in. And it's funny because the last 4 times that I played here, I remember my scores being nowhere near under par. So I always knew that Augusta National is a battle, and I see a lot of work that I can improve on, which is even more great because it really shows how Augusta National is a true testament to our game.
Joel.
Rose, were you aware that the advantage had kind of disappeared going into 16? And if so, how were you able to really mount a comeback over those last 3 holes in the playoff?
To be fair, I felt like the advantage disappeared after hole one. It was quite. I just knew that on this golf course, a 5-shot lead is not enough. A 10-shot lead is not enough. Every single hole mattered, and you could easily triple any hole on this golf course. So with a little up and down, plus negative, your lead is immediately cut short. And on 16, I always knew that, Jenny was playing amazing today. Andrea in my group was also playing amazing. She was firing 3 birdies in the middle of her round. So I knew that everyone was very close, and I expected nothing less. But it was a struggle when I was battling it out.
Ryan.
Rose, sorry if you've already been asked this. How are you more prepared for?
But it was a struggle when I was battling it out.
Ryan.
Rose, sorry if you've already been asked this. How are you more prepared for professional life now, having gone through these 2 years at Stanford and experiences like you've had at this golf tournament?
Yes, I feel like just being at Stanford, it really created such a huge impact in my life on a personal level. I think that the golf part is always something you can improve on lifelong, but college is such a precious couple of years, and I think that being at Stanford is such an important stage for me to kind of step towards professional golf. I really wanted to figure out who I really was and my independence. Even though I'm not that far away from home, I'm still around a 7-hour drive from home. So it really allowed me to get my own space and really understand what I'm about. And that allows me to improve on my golf game, because I realized that a profession's a profession, but yourself is also something that you need to work on.
Paul.
Rose, you've won so many prestigious titles. Where does this one rank, and does your amateur career feel more complete now that you've won here?
I can't rank it, to be honest. I just feel like there's... I feel like I really can't rank any of the events that I've won, just because every single moment is so special. I feel like I was at different stages in my life that allowed me to get to this point. This win is definitely up there in prestige, but I feel like it's something that I can't really rank, because every moment that I've had in my past wins have been so special in its own way, and it's just another unique win. I'm just, super grateful.
John.
Rose, you seem very smiley and very calm. Would you please tell us what you feel your characteristics, your strengths are that enable you to play such good golf? And I'm not talking about your grip and your hand, really. I'm talking about your personal characteristics. What do you do well?
For the most part, I would say I have a very chill, calm demeanor. I don't have too many ups and downs in terms of, my personality. And I think being able to be the lay low kind of person, compared to my friends and the people around me, kind of is like my character trait. And there was this joke in freshman year. My teammates would probably not agree with me now, but everyone thought that I was dead inside. I understand that's not really, I understand that not a lot of people agree with that now, but it was the whole joke in my freshman dorm that Rose just doesn't have any emotions. She's just dead inside. And I kind of played along with it. Thought it was funny and something that I guess I'm proud of.
Do they still think that?
Sorry?
Do they still think that?
I have no clue. Maybe. No. Rachel says no.
Alex.
Rose, could you
first explain if you had seen a leaderboard and knew what your status was on 15 before you hit the second shot? And then if you could clarify, did your father suggest that you go for it, or did you decide to go for it? How did that all really kind of work itself out?
Yeah, so I was at first adamant about it. And then my dad we walked through it, we really talked about it, and I actually did feel comfortable with going for it. It wasn't the smartest decision, but at that time I felt like any sort of lead needs to kind of be maintained. And I really trusted in the shot that I was going to hit. Fortunately, it did not happen that way. And I really made things more interesting in terms of leaderboard.
Had you seen the leaderboard? Did you know what your status was?
No, I did not. I just know that everyone's close.
And I'm sorry, just to follow up, if you hadn't found that grip issue and figured that out on 13,
Everyone's close.
and I'm sorry, just to follow up, if you hadn't found that grip issue and figured that out on 13, would you have probably not gone for it on 15?
I feel like that wasn't really part of. I guess, yes, I would override my dad in terms of that. I would not feel comfortable. I would probably lay up to a short yardage. And I knew that my wedge game was very spot on the whole week. So I feel like it was definitely a smarter decision for me to lay up. Fortunately, that's not what I did. So, but it's okay.
Brentley.
Also, Rose, sorry if you answered this before too, but did you shout "be good" on the shot into 10 in the playoff? And if so, is that normally in your character to do?
Did I? Sorry?
Say "be good" after hitting the shot?
Oh, yes. That is very uncharacteristic of me because I always, every single good shot that I hit, it's nothing but sit or go. Or my teammates get frustrated with me about this, but I would kind of like one-hand finish sometimes, and it will end up like 10 feet next to the hole or probably closer. So it's definitely very uncharacteristic of me, but that hole is just so difficult, and I've always had a struggle with playing that hole. So when I saw the ball go semi-straight, I was really like, please be good, because it was perfectly center of the green, going that direction. I hit a really solid shot, and it was drawing in. I thought if it's a little short, it would probably land and feed to the hole. I did hit it a little bit long, but that was the least of my worries then.
Adam.
Hey, Rose. So this kind of completes your amateur Grand Slam after the girls' junior, the women's AM, and the NCAAs. And in all three of those events, you had a 3-hour delay in one of them, 2 extra holes, and then you struggled by your lofty standards in the final round at NCAAs. So how much did you call on those past experiences to help you out this week?
I really felt like I overcame a lot of adversity in those events, and this event is no exception. It was very hard to get to this point, and I knew that with the weather coming in, nothing is kind of set in stone. I really had to stay focused, and like the previous events that I played in, there was nothing that I guess I would say that those events are just a testament to how I was able to grind. But this event really, really had me thinking a lot, and I really, really wanted to be focused on every single golf shot. And with everyone watching, with all the expectations, it was a little difficult to do so. But I'm really proud of how I handled everything.
Scott.
Rose, you mentioned how clutch the putt on 15 was and how important it was for you at that point. But that second putt on 18 in the playoff was no gimme either. Can you sort of talk about what you're thinking there and knowing exactly what the stakes were for that?
Yes. I felt like it was interesting because I felt a sense of kind of confidence when I was over that putt. I really felt like it was all or nothing. And I really just had to commit to my line. My dad was actually going back and forth with me a little bit on that putt because when I had the putt on 18 previous in my final round, it was breaking right to left. And then Jenny's putt broke left to right. So when I had my putt, it was in the same ballpark as both of those putts, but I had no idea what it was doing. And I tried to figure it out, but I ended up going with a solid straight putt, and it ended up going in with a little bit of speed. Because, when you're not sure of the line, you really just have to commit to one thing. And it went straight back of the cup, and I was on to the next hole. I walked off that green pretty quickly. I wanted to go to 10 immediately.
Garrett.
Rose, at Champions Retreat, it seems like you're on cruise control.
I wanted to go to 10 immediately.
Garrett.
Rose, at Champions Retreat, it seems like you're on cruise control. At Augusta National, as you said, you've had some trouble in the past. What is it about Augusta National that challenges you?
It's difficult to say, but the entire atmosphere of Augusta National is just a whole nother level of prestige, and I realize that, and I think I keep that in the back of my mind. So I really, really do love this golf course, and sometimes it's just interesting that I never really get my A game when I'm out here. And when I was out at Champions, it felt so easy to me. Everything just came to me. I was making putts, I was hitting greens. But when you're out here, one mistake, like I said before, is magnified. And I think me realizing that this final round was not going to be easy kind of made everything a little more difficult in terms of grinding everything out.
Maybe a few more questions, Joel.
Rose, you mentioned that today revealed you have some areas in your game you need to improve. Did this week reveal anything about who you are as a person?
I think that everyone should realize that I'm very much human, and that I do have my fair share of dumb mistakes out on the golf course. But I'm just really proud of myself in terms of how I was able to overcome so much media, so much expectations. Going into the event, everyone was talking about how I should win, how this will finalize the trio of amateur golf. And I wasn't thinking about any of that, to which I think is a true statement for what I actually care about. I never really care about wins, but I do care about how I play, and I care about the people around me. So I think that really just trying to excel in my profession and trying to do the best I can is something that I cared a lot more about than just a simple win. So it's been crazy, but it's been really good.
Jordan.
Now that I see she's in the room, how important was that quiet moment you had with Rachel this morning before your tee time?
It was absolutely necessary and essential. Rachel came out here very, very last minute, very on the spot, and I was so excited to have her here. I feel like she more than anyone deserves to be here, and I'm just so inspired by her constant demeanor and her mindset on recovering, and her ability to just have such a positive outlook on things, even when things are very hard and no one knows what she's actually going through except for herself. For her to actually come out and watch me and be so selfless in just supporting me, it really shows how incredible she is. And it really reminds myself that at the end of the day, you're doing well, but you have other people around you that you also need to support. And when you're not doing well, you need to do the same thing. So I think that she's definitely inspired me this week, and I'm super grateful for her little prayer. God's plan was good today.
Well, thank you, Rose. Congratulations on an incredible victory.
Thank you.